keeps working through your whole life. That is until you stand up to speak in public. I hope that for all of you that asked me whether I was nervous, that's quite an answer for you. Now, I'd also like to pass on some very warm regards from several people who were able to make it today. That includes Katie and Lawrence, because they had baby Dylan earlier this week. They've only got their hands full. And there's also those that are living abroad at the moment. There's Robin, Tara, and little Oscar, and also Brandon and Kate, and they all send their warmest regards.
I think we'll have to slide
So I'd like you, just very briefly this time, to raise your glasses to absent friends.
Absent friends.
Now, it's a tremendous feeling for me to be here celebrating the marriage of the two most wonderful and loving people I know. I'm particularly honoured that James asked me to be his best man. But I've got a feeling that he did this because he knew it was a safe option. He knows Heather very well and knew that I'd be in serious trouble with my wife if I delivered the traditional risque speech. And he was quite right. Every time I tried to put a dodgy innuendo or double entendre into my speech, she made me rip it out. It does feel good, however, that after years and years, after years and years of sibling rivalry, James has finally accepted that I am the best man. So, the next duty I have this evening is to thank Robin and James on behalf of the bridesmaids. Robin for giving them the honour of assisting her on this special day, and also to James for his eloquent compliments about how lovely they look. It's been a real pleasure for all of us to be a small part of your big day. Now, my family have been lucky enough to get to know Robin really well, and Robin's a lovely and sunny person whose love of life rubs off on those around her. And so it's been obvious to all of us why James has found such happiness with her. James, Robin truly deserves a good husband, so it's a good job you got to her before she found one. I'd like to say a little bit about James next. Now, James has got many qualities which make him a fantastic person to be with. Enthusiasm and sense of fun, which win him many, many friends wherever he goes. But I know James is far too humble to want me to pick him up like this. Aren't you, James? And so instead I'd like to tell you a couple of stories about his very early years. The stories that may even be new to Robin. Now, it won't come as any shock to anyone here to know that James was a weird-looking baby. It's true. A week after he was born, do you know this story, Robin? A week after he was born, Mum took James on a bus to go shopping in Nuneaton. And as she got on the bus, the driver said to her, "Oh, that's the ugliest baby I've ever seen." Oh. Now, Mum's very protective type, and she was absolutely fuming, so she went to sit down on the back of the bus. And she said to the lady next to her, "That driver's just insulted me." And the woman said to her, "Now you go right back up there and tell him off. I'll hold your monkey." It's true. I'm afraid the next story is a little bit sad. Sorry to bring it down, but the next story is a little bit sad. On one family holiday, poor little James lost his favourite toy, Winnie, on a ferry. Yes, it's sad. And by the time James realised this, poor Winnie was sailing back to Holland. The poor little lad couldn't be consoled, no other teddy would do. And he made such a fuss over several days that international diplomacy was invoked. And incredibly, about a week later, a small package arrived in the post. It was a package very much like this. So open him up, James. Now, I think, Robin, I think this goes to show. I think this goes to show that James's loyalty and love. So, Robin, I think this goes to show that James's loyalty and his love really knows no bounds. And I think that you're going to find out. I think Robin's going to find out, just like Winnie did, that there's now no getting away. So, after all that, I better move on to James's adult life. And before James met Robin, there were already several loves in his life. Cricket, football, golf and hockey, you name it. James can turn his hand to almost any sport, but it's his cricketing prowess which is legendary, as I'm sure some of his team here today will attest to. He's single-handedly rewritten the club record books. The shortest time in bat, the most catches dropped, and the most wides bowled in an over to ever don't worry, I'm getting near the end. As James is your older brother, I really wish I was wise enough to offer you some advice. But what I can say is that two things are necessary to keep your wife happy. First of all, you've really got to make her think she's getting her own way. And the second thing is, you've got to let her have it. And Robin, please go easy on your new husband, James, and remember that a good wife always forgives her husband when she's wrong. So that's the end of my speech, and I hope you'll all be ready to join me in toasting James and Robin. Now, as you can see from the beach and beer table settings, James and Robin really love to travel. Their very engagement took place in the beach paradise of Bui Nha, Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an engagement in paradise, but truly a match made in heaven. To James and Robin.